10 News begins with breaking news.
And we have breaking news right now out of Oceanside. Somebody was just struck and killed by an Amtrak train. This is where the tracks meet Cassidy Street there, and this happened about an hour and a half ago at 9:30. No word yet on the circumstances of this crash. Now, the North County Transit District is busing passengers now from Oceanside down to Carlsbad Village Coaster Station. We'll stay on top of this story and let you know if anything develops. But a man is still perched above the 5 right now, threatening to jump. He's been doing this for the last 21 hours. I'm Jason Martinez.
And I'm Kalina Estrinos in for Virginia Cha. Now, this has been a huge headache for commuters. Let's go live right now to 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala. Mimi, what can you tell us?
Kalina, Jason, it's almost been a full day since this man has been up on the bridge. Negotiators have been talking with him throughout the afternoon yesterday, throughout the night, and this morning into right now. Actually, one of them has his hand on the man right now. I can see that happening, so hopefully they'll be able to get a hold of him soon. But let's take a look at this over here. The southbound lanes of the I-5 are still shut off. Northbound traffic is moving, but it's been like this since about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Traffic has been diverted to Rosecrans and the 8 East. Now, negotiators have been working nonstop to safely try to get this man to come down, but he is still refusing after more than 20 hours. Here's a look from Sky 10 up above. They've been talking to him, giving him water, showing him what appeared to be a picture also. He later dropped that picture off of the bridge. He's been up there since 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Drivers were stuck for a couple of hours once the freeway lanes were shut down. But today, the northbound lanes were a little backed up, but traffic was still flowing, although the connector to the westbound 8 is still closed off. Now, early this morning, crews also put that huge inflatable cushion right below the bridge where that man was standing to safely catch him if he were to fall or jump. Now, there are still a lot of questions as to why this has gone on for so long, and if he continues to refuse to cooperate, are they going to keep the freeway lane shut down, and if so, for how much longer? Those are all questions that we are looking into and will continue to update you with throughout the day. But for now, reporting live along the 5, Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Thank you, Mimi. Well, more breaking news now. A San Diego judge approved a $25 million class action settlement for Trump University. Former students claim Trump committed fraud in promising to use hand-picked instructors to teach real estate lessons. 2 students objected to the settlement. Some of the plaintiffs could get back as much as 90% of their money. Today's ruling doesn't mean it's over. The settlement could be held for years if it's appealed.
An emotional day at Naval Base San Diego as hundreds of sailors deploy this morning. 10 News reporter Mary McKenzie has been there live all morning. Both destroyers underway. How's it going out there this morning, Mary?
The anchors are up and the ships are underway, headed to the Western Pacific. But back home here this morning, there are hundreds of heavy hearts at Naval Base San Diego.
I want to see Daddy.
The waiting begins for families whose loved ones deployed today on 2 missile destroyers headed for the Western Pacific. Sterett Dewey Surface Action Group is on its way there now. Both the USS Sterett and USS Dewey are guided missile destroyers, and the families of all of those sailors had to say goodbye today as they deployed along with members of 2 helicopter detachments. The Madden family is on their 3rd deployment together as a family, but husband Chris Madden is on his 5th deployment. His wife says it doesn't get any easier.
You've got people right there with you going through the same thing. And it is a military life. Your friends become like your family.
I asked Sherry Madden what happens next, and she simply said life. We just go on. But a very sad day, lots of tears, but lots of strength out here. Very impressive. These families will wait. We're live from Naval Base San Diego. Mary McKenzie, 10 News.
Thank you, Mary. Well, just into 10 News, convicted South Carolina church shooter Dylan Roof is trying to avoid a second death penalty. He's set to plead guilty to state murder charges in order to avoid the sentence. The plea deal is in exchange for life in prison. Now, Roof has been awaiting trial on state murder charges for the deaths of 9 black church members. A federal jury sentenced him to death earlier this year.
A developing story. President Trump's former national security advisor Mike Flynn caught in the middle of an international dispute. He says he'll take immunity for telling what he knows about the campaign's possible ties to Russia. ABC's Lana Zak has the negotiations.
President Trump's former national security advisor Michael Flynn wants to testify in the Russia hearings, but he wants immunity. In a statement, Flynn's lawyer said he certainly has a story to tell and he very much wants to tell it. The president weighing in on Twitter, writing, Mike Flynn should ask for immunity in that this is a witch hunt excuse for big election loss by media and Dems of historic proportion. So far, investigators are reportedly unwilling to cut a deal. House Oversight Chair Jason Chaffetz on Fox.
I don't think Congress should give him immunity. If there's an open investigation by the FBI, that should not happen. I also don't believe that the president should be weighing in on this.
Flynn has appeared to have changed his tune on immunity. Here he is in an NBC interview back in September criticizing former Clinton staffers who asked for immunity.
When you are given immunity, that means that you've probably committed a crime.
Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin's press secretary, Dmitry Peskov, denied Russian interference on GMA.
If we're at the lowest point in history, that means we're in a new Cold War.
New Cold War? Well, maybe even worse.
All of this as the investigation into Russia continues in the Senate.
This is not fake news. This is actually what happened to us.
But those same hearings remain stalled in the House. The chairman of that committee refusing to say who at the White House provided him with those secret documents. His Democratic counterpart asking questions.
Why all the cloak and dagger stuff? And that's something that we need to get to the bottom of.
And Schiff is also tweeting in response to the president. He said the public should learn a lot more about why General Flynn wants immunity when Sally Yates testifies before the House Intelligence Committee. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
Happening today, San Diego leaders are throwing their weight behind the proposed gas tax. Governor Jerry Brown wants to raise gas tax by 12 cents per gallon. The money would go to road repairs. San Diego Assemblymember Todd Gloria and other city and industry officials are urging legislators to pass the bill. Lawmakers are expected to vote by next Thursday. Now, in a 10 News Union Tribune poll, we asked Californians what they think about the gas tax. 37% said they support it, 44% went to say that they oppose the idea of paying more, and 19% said they're just not sure.
Happening today, an effort to stop sex trafficking. State and local leaders are announcing 3 new initiatives. One would help track down and convict sex offenders. Then the next one would require all hotels and motels to train employees so that they recognize the signs of human trafficking. And then the last one would provide housing and mental health assistance for the survivors. And new today, the FBI is releasing pictures of the Pentagon on 9/11. These are new pictures that weren't released, but there are 27 new ones showing everything from pieces of the flight that hit the building to the damaged interior. 189 people died at the Pentagon that day. There would have been more victims, but part of the plane hit part of the building that was being renovated at the time, so there were fewer people in harm's way.
Well, now on to a breaking news update. Police are still searching for the person responsible for stabbing a man in National City. This happened last night on 20th and Hoover. Our 10 News breaking news tracker was there when firefighters were assisting the man. Now, he told police he was stabbed at a house party nearby and then ran to a restaurant for help. He suffered minor injuries in his left hand, and police right now are still searching for that suspect. And happening now, Chula Vista police need your help to find the man in white overalls. Take a look at your screen right now. Officers think he stabbed another man in the chest. A witness caught the stabbing on camera. It started off as a road rage fight. The driver of a black van honked at a gray car. The woman in the gray car was offended and then tailgated that man. Both drivers fought when they stopped at the corner. The man who was stabbed got out of the hospital after 3 days.
Happening now, the Coast Guard is offloading about 6 tons of cocaine seized in the Pacific Ocean. We have videos of the crew making a big drug bust, one of them many during the first 2 months of the year. Coast Guard is using 4 cutter ships to intercept shipments just like this. And happening now, it is Cesar Chavez Day across California, and as we honor a man who gave so much to better the lives of farm workers, that also means we have some schedule changes on this holiday. State, city, and county offices are closed, so are libraries and rec centers. Parking meters will not be enforced, but transportation and trash pickup are operating normally today.